happen exactly with those first bans and the first picks, and who has first ban and first pick, because we are in the draft. It is time for the third game. Alliance and Complexity with their backs against the wall, and there's only one team that will be able to continue here in the Shanghai Major, and Alliance once again are going for Bounty Hunter as their first ban, and once again Radiant, once again first pick, once again Complexity on the dire side, and Bed Rider once again banned out.
I like Complexity on dire side a lot. I think it's one of those teams that the way that they play tempo is just so favorable to have Roshan in their advantage.
Something I want to bring up too is I think part of the reason why coL decided to pick the safe lane Nature's Prophet in both the tournament games is because they knew that the teams they were playing against really like NP, and I think they didn't want to waste a ban on it, but it felt a little bit awkward both times I've seen them run it. But I think, especially with the fact that they were able to beat Bulldog's Nature's Prophet, they knew at some point they had to give up something. They're like, okay, well, let's just see what happens. They were able to beat it. I think they're kind of comfortable now giving it up, and maybe that makes Alliance think twice. Maybe they take the IO first for themselves this time around. Or
but yeah, if you give up, if Alliance do choose to say, okay, they go for Darkseer or something different, but
you give up the IO then?
Yeah.
The Complexity did change it up a bit. They leave Enchantress in the pool as well, so both Chen and Enchantress still there.
There are a lot of heroes open in this pool.
Yes.
Yeah,
but they switched it up, so that's good.
We talked about this while we were watching the game, right? We were going back through the draft, and we are talking about how Wisp plus Jungler is kind of an awkward opening. Wisp Enchantress, Wisp Chen.
Yeah, for sure. You can do something like Io Furion though.
So what about Beastmaster Enchantress for Complexity?
Beast Enchant is pretty good, but wasn't it coL that said that they don't like it as a combo? Like they're like never again or something like that? Swindle is making some meme about it. He was joking. But IO plus... I'm a fan of IO Beastmaster, IO Enchantress openings, because you know that Alliance will take the other then. But there's so many heroes that Alliance have to choose from. They have Nature's Prophet, they have Chen, Enchantress...
Well, with the Darkseer picked up, we can assume, I would imagine that is Bulldog's hero.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to see them pick up the Enchantress actually over the Chen. Throw it a bit of a curveball. I know that Ake is more known for his Chen, but with the way that they were able to go late game with the Enchantress last time, and then Ake was able to have a really big late game impact, I think that's a nice way to change this dynamic against Complexity.
You know what a fun pattern is too? Is I almost was certain that they weren't going to take the Nature's Prophet, because I think in some ways they'll pick it just to intimidate teams, but you notice that in the third game they're just like, no.
Yeah. Once that intimidation factor isn't there,
coL is like, okay, pick it, go for it, and Alliance is like, no, there are better teamfight heroes that we can pick.
And that goes back to our original storyline about this match, where you can't be scared against Alliance.
Yeah, at some point you have to let something through. You just have to kind of decide what, and there's the Beastmaster, which is what we thought. It was either going to be the IO Enchant or IO Beastmaster. Then I think Alliance, again, I don't think you should be afraid. Either take the Enchantress or the Chen. Live with it.
Would you ban out the other one?
I mean, if you take one, then...
No, I don't think Complexity would pick Chen IO.
Yeah. Oh, they actually go the opposite direction.
Yeah, but this is also obviously a counter pick to Chen or Ench if they don't decide to ban it. So maybe they want it as like a safety net to not have to actually spend bans on those heroes.
Witch Doctor's like the best hero against both Wisp and Beastmaster.
Yeah.
It's so annoying against Beastmaster players.
And it's really good against the Wisp combinations as well.
Yeah. This is a good counter pick in general.
It also makes it, it's good against Earth Spirit as well, who is still on the pool.
There's the Chessie ban.
I don't think you could let that through. Not after what happened last game.
So far Alliance is pretty heavy in on the team fight. Is it time for an Enigma to be spotted in the wild on the side of Complexity?
I think it's a good way to add pressure. Like when you have an IO and a Beastmaster, you obviously want to control tempo, and if Alliance pick up an Enigma with the two heroes that they already have, they have very stable lanes. Like Darkseer off lane is very hard to punish with just an IO, depending on what Complexity they go for in terms of the safe lane. They do ban the Sven this game, which means I think that hero is actually just super strong right now with the current style that people are playing. Just a frontline hero that can deal ridiculous damage, initiation, good late game. He pretty much has everything. The only downside is he can be kited in some situations. So I think they've opened themselves up for a really nice draft this game, Alliance.
Wonder what complexity you pick too for the safe lane, just because you are against the Darkseer. It's quite irritating to play against. When you show the IO as well, you know that you're not going to have the most lane presence in your safe lane.
You're leaning towards Gyrocopter at that point, aren't you?
Gyro's
Teamfight hero
okay.
that still works with Wisp. I think it works pretty well with Beastmaster as well. It's just maybe not a hero that you want to pick up right now, since you don't know what Alliance's mid or carry is.
Yeah.
Well, if they think that Earth Spirit's a possibility, Juggernaut is much better, I think, this game than he was in the last game. I think Jug against Sven is terrible for Jug.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I thought it was questionable last time.
There are a lot of heroes in the pool still for S4 compared to previous game.
Yeah.
Because Complexity was forced to ban out.
I think he'll probably end up getting something like Puck. It has amazing synergy with Witch Doctor Darkseer. They're gonna take the OD. If they... Actually, they don't have to pick his hero now, like you said, because he has such a wide open pool. The only way they pick it first is if they want to make sure that they get the best position 1 for the situation. I still think Jug is a pretty legit choice. They could also, if they want to go for like just mass tempo control, they could go back for something like a Spec. I think it's alright here. And I don't think that the Beastmaster can pressure the lane very hard just having the Witch Doctor there. Ah, the Brewmaster. You know what? I think last game Brew would have been way better. I forgot about that hero. Brew would have been much better, I think, than how DK worked out.
You can also mess with the IO a lot.
Yeah.
And before the OD gets his own BKB, you can do quite a bit against him, but it's kind of like a weird thing. If Complexity get the jump with the Beastmaster onto the Brew, then the OD can just drain all your mana and instantly blow you up with his ulti.
Yep.
And get rid of your mana really quickly. But I love this combination. We see it primarily in the NA scene, the OD plus Mirana combination. Really strong laning phase overall. Really good setup as long as you can time it pretty well. It kind of just gets rid of the idea of Shadow Demon as a hero entirely.
Yeah.
And you've got an even better hero that can set up.
Poor Shadow Demon, man. That hero needs something. He needs help.
I sort of think he's cool, but awful.
It doesn't help
Like
very much.
awful. Yeah.
The hero concept in my brain, when I think about it, I'm like, that's okay.
So now that'll...
Complexities turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Alliances turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Complexity's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Typical.
Guys, let's try to Baidu what happened. You wanna watch gift recipes with me?
I wonder if we have too many colors going on.
It's very possible because they take a lot. Give it to one of the Chinese.
Seconds remaining. 5
the
seconds
spirit.
remaining. Alliance's turn to pick.
I speak for the trees.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are live for Game 3 here at the Mercedes-Benz Arena. It's an elimination match between Team Complexity and Alliance. The winner, gods, they will move on and they will be facing the boys in blue, Evil Geniuses, who got knocked down earlier today in a very tight match versus Secret. That's a really staunch opponent to face, but first they got to get through each other.
Yeah, Complexity have put up a hell of a fight doing NA Dota proud, but it's a story of 8 Swedes here. Alliance, the big name team, they've shown some incredible performances throughout the tournament. They've got to do it once more, and, well, they're going to go out or go forward. It's the Bulldog Nature's Prophet. 10th pick, LD. 10th pick, Nature's Prophet.
They wanted them to take Profit. If they did it, they had plenty of time to ban it, so, all right.
Well, it's a Darkseid pick. It's a bit of a bait where it's like, Alliance like, oh, we already have our offlaner. Nope, we're doing a support EGM Darkseid.
Well,
EGM going back to his roots. He's going to play that greedy style.
All right, let's see how it works out, and if there's any sort of punish coming out. At the same time, although they get the Prophet, there's a Hawk to scout him, the Relocate to punish him. They've got a great mobility ganking hero.
30 seconds to battle.
OD, it's going to be Ember in the safe lane, and we're going to see Chessie get tested here. This is going to be a very important game for Chessie to once again perform spectacularly.
Alliance, a confident move here, trying to head up the ramp. A boar will greet Loda. Hey, buddy. And Loda will back away. Looks like Alliance are going to secure the bottom rune, while Complexity, under cover of an Alliance ward, will be looking to grab the top. You notice there are 2 wards around the runes. Very important to have against Mirana to be able to see those arrows coming, to see her rotation. So definitely not the normal warding setup, but I think given the matchup, this is a great way to go if you're Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of this, and we've seen
Speaking
what
of that
Mirana's
Mirana, look at the angle Z-Freak's taking.
Oh no, creates. It's going around. And it was even Z-Freak even like pings it out like, I can't get this.
And that's important. It's got an Iron Talon. So it's a naked Iron Talon, level 1, Jungle Darkseer, 4 position support. This is the old Alliance coming back.
Can they get the courier on the way back though? It just delivers S4's bottle, and if they don't send it around, this actually may be a dead courier.
Oh, Z-Freak, this could be huge. He's already taken the arrow. He needs 1 more auto attack. He gets it too, off to a hot start here. It did manage to deliver its payload. The bottle to S4, EGM with the Iron Talon, so not catastrophic, but still very nice for Complexity.
Yeah, just that. It's not the end of the world for Alliance. S4 won't get boots when he can first afford them in the mid lane, but it's still a very manageable lane. He goes for the early Drunken Haze. He's going to look to cause Limp as many issues as possible by spamming this out. The important thing now for S4 is that he's able to secure runes, because otherwise then he struggles in lane without the ability to just keep on spamming limps.
So we can see bottom lane, Ake is going to grab Maledicт, goes in on Swindle, some heavy harassment here, Loda, the level on Desolate, but elsewhere, action on the mid lane as S4's been caught out, almost finished off the Astral into the arrow, he tries for the Drunken Haze lob, it ain't going to get the job done, so Z-Freak, not only does he grab a courier snipe, but now he secures the mid lane, giving Limp a much needed first blood. Complexity, having that hot start you'd want against Alliance in a Game 3 decider.
And able to do it around the ward. I'm guessing he was probably on the high ground, because otherwise S4 likely sees that one coming, but... I'm going to change up some settings here, but really nice start here for Complexity. First Blood making a big difference here, because Alliance have pretty strong lane setup. The Brewmaster matches up well against OD. Nature's Prophet already getting some CS and a decent XP out of the off lane. The safe lane Spectre's doing well. They're trying to punish and zone the Beastmaster, so this Mirana needs to be effective considering the Alliance lanes are very strong.
Yeah, in spite of that slight early CS lead, they're still up 1,000 gold. Just shows you how big an early courier kill and a first blood really is.
No, S4's going to get it.
He's going to grab it, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to punish. So S4 grabbing the early point of Drunken Haze. Don't always see this build, but versus an OD, very nice to have a shot to avoid those punishing Arcane Orb attacks. So I like this pickup by S4, and I think it's definitely the way to go in the Brew OD matchup. Meanwhile, top lane, Bulldog, how's he doing so far? Looks like it's okay, but bottom lane, Swindle's getting pursued. Okay with the DD rune, but no boots, just slowly limping after his prey. And so yeah, we do see Bulldog getting his levels in the offlane. EGM doing well on the Jungle Darkseer, already level 3 and change, close to 4.
Oh, mid lane, arrow coming in again.
Oh, they got him again. S4 though evades the first orb. One miss. If he gets the second, maybe he's got a shot. Bottling up, trying to survive, backing away to the tower, has his own bottle charges. Not enough. The extra int secures the kill. Z freaking Limp on point, while top lane, you can see Bulldog getting hounded back by Chessie and Handskin. No points in Slight yet, so they don't have that easy initiation for a change, but they do manage to get a change anyway on Bulldog, tanking the tower damage. Chessie with the poor man shield able to survive, and EGM arrives. Can he punish? He has a surge available. He's going to turn back towards Handskin, tether up in 3. I think Handskin just tethers out of this one, gods. It's going to be close, arrow. They're looking for the turn. It could be another kill. 3 down, possibly 4. EGM also going to drop. Bulldog is TPing in. Oh, he thinks about it. There's the tether out. Handskin straight back to the last ranged creep. Just enough buffer to keep him alive. Chessie will tank one last pot shot from the tower, but a 1,200 gold swing when you're already leading at this stage. Oh, by golly, and now mid. Again, Astral, they're styling on S4 mid! Another arrow here! Another kill! Complexity! Z-Freak, the gift that just keeps on giving. 0, 0, and 4. We already said he was the high-impact player on the Enigma in Game 1 in defeat. He's stepped it up here on the big stage.
I mentioned how he's kind of been the Complexity MVP to get them this far, and boy is he showing it here against Alliance in the early game on this Mirana. This is like what you want to do as a Mirana in the early game. It doesn't get any better than this, and yeah, a couple times it's with an OD Astral set, but it's the positioning where he's always out of the ward vision, he's in the right position to get those arrows on mid, and he hits a amazing
By the
arrow
way,
top.
not sure what's happened here, but Chessie has 2 boots right now, so I think might have been a panic buy. But he is chasing top lane, the arrow's coming in, this time it will be a miss. Yeah, so Complexity, very, I think very exuberant, very excited here.
Yeah.
Maybe just panicked in the moment, bought the boots thinking he was perhaps going to die, but that will slow down his next item, so that's good news for Alliance, I suppose.
Yeah,
a little too early to be BMing if you're Complexity.
Yeah,
the manners of boots.
Oh, Z-Freak swooping in towards mid again, but again, this is being scouted out by Radiant Vision. This should not be effective.
The thing is, they have the ward, but if you Astral Arrow correctly, how do you actually dodge that as S4? Like, he knows it's coming, but it's gonna hit if he's on the mark and times it right.
Yeah, they're trying to actually go onto Z-Freak here. He'll be forced to leap away.
Oh, space created. 3 heroes trying to chase down this support Mirana. At the same time, Loda farming exceptionally well here in the bottom lane for Alliance. 35 and 13. Swindle struggling a bit to get his levels. So this is not coming without a cost elsewhere on the map, and we all know just how fearsome a Spectre with early farm can be.
And when you're against like a jungler, be it like an Enigma, or in this case it's just a straight up Darkseer with Iron Talon, you need to be kind of getting an advantage out of the lanes when you're running a roaming hero. So Beastmaster not getting a huge amount in the off lane, overall it's still like very doable for Alliance despite the kill score looking kind of grim.
Now 2,000 gold lead, but only a 500 experience lead as S4.
By the way, look at his mid lane, just shared tangos. This is actually like a bait for the Astral Arrow combo, I almost feel like. Here, want some tangos, S4? Come and get him.
Bottom lane, making a move here onto Loda. They want to catch out the Spectre. The chain's coming through. He tries to dagger. He won't make it out. Z-Freak again finishing the job. I mean, almost kill stealing at this point. Gets him with the arrow there. But another kill, 6-0.
6-minute arcane boots on Miranda. He saw Fear play Miranda earlier today. He's just like, Swindle, dude. Everyone's talking about how good Fear's Miranda is. Let me see if I can do better. And
oh, he might even go for Ake. Sometimes you're just on fire, and Z-Freak is feeling it right now.
This is such a good position
He just had vision on him, and they haven't seen him sneak in here. Teleport is coming from the Spectre. They're gonna get eyes on him, and now they make the move onto Swindle, but creeps are in the way. Oh, the range creep's gonna block it. Unfortunate. Swindles may go down here, and it looks like Z-Freak won't really be able to save him, even popping this out. But Chessie arrives, gets the chains out, and it hits both heroes, even with creeps there. It's a double for Chessie. Complexity, more and more momentum in the bottom lane. The Spirit's pounding into Loda. Will force him away.
Another arrow available. EGM,
It's gonna be a longer shot, and he's going just off the mark. Okay. So we see an abandoned middle lane. Meanwhile, at Lips just like, hey, where'd everybody go? Farming the creep wave. S4 is taken over top. Does have the brew split ready,
and they have such good sustain with this push. Chessie used up all his mana, gets tethered, and the arcane boots gets the double arcanes to get him back up. Does get forced to remnant out defensively, but Alliance having to commit a lot of heroes down bottom.
And they are getting closer and closer to that relocate for Hanskin. A lot of early movement, but he's done a pretty good job of keeping up his levels. We'll see Swindles now that they've had the pressure bottom applied. He's going to back off to the jungle with the completed Iron Talon, so wants to get his Roar online, grab his level 6. But if you're Alliance, you have to be reeling on some level. I mean, it's one thing to give up a lot of kills early, but the way they've given them up, and to something like a Mirana Arrow, how do you recover, guys? What's the game plan here?
They've got 2 good global ultis to help get them kills, and then Spectre Haunt with the Nature's Prophet, and they're going to go for it now.
They're going to use it now, moving on to Limp. The OD does have an Astro ready, though. Hanskin pretty far back, tethering to break the trees. They can't make their way into this. Yeah. And they have blown the Prophet ult, but no kill.
They've got to find a way to get S4 in with a clap and a Primal Split, and I think that means EGM has to come. So they're going to have to get kills to turn this one around. They have to commit a lot of heroes. It's like a Surge Brewmaster going in with a Spectre Haunt follow-up. Now the Spectre Haunt's on cooldown, so maybe they try to do it with the Surge Brewmaster and a Nature's Prophet, but Alliance can't just like play. Like they need to kind of meet Complexity's pace now.
Keep your eyes on Z-Freak. Now it's top he heads to, and this time he's hunting bigger prey.
And
the carry
is always there, scouting for him, giving him vision.
You can see they've got a ward, but again, this ward doesn't really scout the Mirana's movement.
Yeah, they planted it when Mirana was just like camping at the Ancients, firing arrows at mid, but at this point, Mirana has other ideas.
It's just one of those tenuous things where sometimes like the ward will see every movement, sometimes it just doesn't catch any of them. And right now Z-Freak is undetected, but the Alliance trying to stick together as much as possible. They're even going to bring S4 top. Looks like they may want to mount an offensive, or at the very least maintain a disciplined type ball, but this gives Chessie a free tower bottom. Alliance not even going to defend that.
The Hawk sees both these heroes coming top lane, so Swindles should not be going down here. They'll back off. Alliance are grouping up for a smoke play, it looks like. Witch Doctor TPing in, and
it's a deep smoke. S4 no blink. They do have the Surge, as you mentioned, to maybe start this off. Haunt's still cooling down for 30.
It seems like a readable, but also at the same time, Swindle sends out the Hawk, sees no one behind.
This mid lane, let's see if they get a good initiation off. If they head to the south, they might just be able to live. Smoke's gonna break, there's the Surge, but the Witch Doctor slightly body blocking. Out comes the cast. Oh, and the Brew Split applied as well, so they'll get the limp kill, but they really would like to get more for this. Cyclone onto the Ember Spirit. Chessie gonna lose his Flame Guard right away. He's fairly squishy with this. Hanskin there, tries to keep him alive. The Remnant out. Hanskin now taking a lot of damage. Chessie low, a next Boulder Toss coming through. They're gonna hunt forward. There's the Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist. They bring down Hanskin. Alliance turning this one back around, but a nice Remnant juke up to the high ground. Chessie trying to survive. Now down to the low ground. Now you see me, now you don't. And he will make it out. Alliance using their flurry of ultimates though, and do grab a couple of very important kills.
And just what they need to do, meet Complexity's pace. And you've got an Ember Spirit who goes for treads. This is not your typical Ember build where you normally see the boots of travel. He wants to play fast pace. He wants to use the extra stats and attack speeds he gets from this to keep on fighting, taking the game to Alliance, and Alliance say, enough is enough. Let's go and meet them. We've got Brewmaster ultimate. We can actually deal with the Ember Spirit through the Cyclone Dispel, getting rid of the Flame Guard, and Alliance find themselves a good exchange in the mid lane.
Radiant's middle
Unfortunately,
tower
they
is
didn't
under
quite have
attack.
a big enough advantage to go for the tier 1 tower afterwards, but it's still very much needed kills for them. Now it's Complexity's window though. 3 big ultimates, Brewmasters, Spectres, and Nature's Prophet, all on cooldown.
Now 1 minute until the Spectre ult, 15 seconds until the Prophet, and another minute for S4, so they've got about 60 seconds to take advantage of the key teamfight ults being down. As we'll also see Z-Freak roaming around on the bottom side of the map. Looks like Loda and Ake want to try and lock him down. They're going to bring in the Prophet. He's already committed a leap. Oh, this looks to be the death of Z-Freak. No way out of this route. He's going to turn. He throws out the arrow on Bulldog, but it's simply not enough. Down he goes. So they sacrifice Mirana, but they did get the mid tower, and it went to Chessie with the last hit. So probably their most important late game hero after the OD, getting some nice gold.
Yeah, Miranda just trying to go on a warding mission, but I think even the ward being planted is kind of known to Alliance, who should be able to de-ward that jungle spot. Overall, that's like a... In some ways, like you get a Miranda kill, you scout out a deep ward, while you have none of your ultimates, that's a good exchange for Alliance, even though they lose their tier 1 mid.
Chessie feeling very confident, just marching up the ramp. And you know, that is something that you have to look at this draft and say, gods, is that Complexity's Ember Spirit, there's really very little catch for him this game. What do they really have? A boulder toss? A cask? He can have free reign here.
Yeah, they can shut down his aggression as far as taking away the flame guard and not allowing him just to run in, but as far as when you go towards the mid game and he can play that split push style, there's no real way to fight him. And that's where Bulldog's actually rushing an Orchid this game. This is not your typical Bulldog Nature's Prophet build. This is not a build he'd normally like to go for, but it's a necessity because of Ember Spirit.
And that's where having the IO in the correct position or scouting those ganks will be very important for Complexity. So Alliance, they're going to farm up some Ancients here. We see Aki and Bulldog tag teaming them. S4 hanging back. Still trying to get that Blink Dagger, but you can just see how scared Alliance are. They're not playing their normal brand of Dota, where they're very focused on farming efficiently and spreading the map, but they are smoking instead.
Ulti's back up. They want to take another fight.
They've got earn charges on Loda. Does have the level 2 Desolate available now. A lot of damage to come out from him. But
look
how
at these hawks,
how do they initiate?
on either side. Swindles is just like, he wants to see and know everything.
It's a surge for S4. I guess that's the only way. They run him in, but already they have banished one. Limp, arrow coming through. It's going to connect and it hits Ake as he's looking to back up Loda. Then the reinforcements arrive. Handskin, though, getting sideswiped by Bulldog, and they're going to combine to look to bring down this IO. Handskin will fall, and now the Ember Spirit of Chessie simply has to run. The Brewmaster ult deployed. He goes back up to the high ground. Limp starting to hit harder and harder, though. 15 stolen in. They need to control this OD, or he can turn the fight. One more boulder toss, locking him in position. EGM with the level 1 back. Another arrow. It's another connection. This one on S4. S4's gonna drop, and now OD with the ult ready to rock and rumble. Might be turning it, but the cask bouncing everywhere. Could be enough to save the day. Ake going for the TP out. They get vision. They're gonna prevent it there with the Astral. Looks like Ake down. The rest of Alliance will make it out. But they expended all their big ultimates, and when the dust settles, you can't really call that a win.
Yeah, Alliance need to, well, they need to win fights when they use all their ultimates, and they lose that one, and now their ulti's on cooldown, so this will transition Complexity into the tier 1 tower, and even after this tier 1 tower, they can look to maintain their aggression until the Spectre Haunt, the Brewmaster split is back up, and Complexity are doing so well now. Even the fact, even when Brewmaster Split comes back up, you're still looking at a level 1 Primal Split, and you're kind of reaching that 15-20 minute stage of the game where level 1 split isn't really all that potent. You really need to be hitting level 11 on S4, not to mention his Blink Dagger timing. Really going to be very late.
They also just have a lot of disengage. You've got the Astral Imprisonment, the Remnant out, the Leap Away, the Tether, and just move speed save, potentially the Relocate. So Brewmaster splits, if you really don't like the fight, most of Complexity can just run.
Yeah. Alliance will be working towards mech on EGM, which is going to help a lot against when they take those fights around their ultimates. I feel like a mech in that last
S4 is being hunted here in the top lane. There's an Astral to start. The creep wave being drawn by the boar. Aki's gonna tank it. Takes one for his friend Gustav. And now Z-Freak holding the leap is gonna back away. But this forces the rotation. Even Loda having to come to these fights. Limp, Hanskin, and Z-Freak, they'll all back off. And while they're doing that, Chessie's taking advantage of an opened up map. He moves into the Radiant jungle. You can see also Swindles farming towards the Necro Book. I think more than anything, what worries me for Alliance is they're just not farming as much as you normally would like to see.
I think they're gonna, when they hit Bulldog's Orchid, they need to find big pickoffs on Ember Spirit, mostly. I mean, really, anyway, Ember Spirit OD, it doesn't matter too much, but they need to play this pick-off game. They need to go for the kills. They need to just go for this less kind of teamfight-oriented play, even though they've got the big ultis. Like, they've got the Global Spectre Haunt, the Nature's Prophet, Wrath of Nature. They've got the Brewmaster Split. They're just not matching up in terms of raw items, so they've got to kind of go for pick-offs instead, which, unfortunately for Alliance, isn't really what they planned on doing.
Well, a crucial item now, S4. He's at long last, got the Blink Dagger. It's not really the timing you'd want, especially when he rushed it, but
they know
he does have it.
They scout with the arrow.
Hunting him out. Top lane. There's the Drunken Haze to start, S4. Thinking about a move in, but they're going to pop the Mirana ult. I think expecting he had a little more backup.
S4's kind of baiting it.
Than he actually did, but now the backup arrives. They're going to Ion Shell S4. They surge him. They say, go, go, buddy. But S4 a bit hesitant. Remember, Spectre and Prophet can both be here at any moment, so it is effectively 5 Alliance heroes making a move on this top lane.
Watch out for like a raw relocated bottom lane. Something Swindles has to be very cautious of.
Or Loda.
Loda, yes. Loda needs to really respect the ability for this relocate just to get a quick pick off on him, but Necrobook already being used, so Swindle's missing a bit of his necessary DPS. Relocate elsewhere though.
Biding his time and looking for the arrow from the rear. He's going to cancel the Arcade TP here. Direct hit. Does EGM stop to try and turn this? Well, elsewhere there's a huge fight brewing with Chessie and Henskin relocating in and getting punished for it. Oh, they thought they had a freebie, but that's not the case. Now Ake, after getting arrow, just walks away top lane. Bit of miscommunication there, it felt like, from Complexity, and just not expecting that quick Alliance response.
Yeah, they relocated on Bulldog. Ember kind of found Bulldog, then they relocated in, but he got a great Sprout block off, and they couldn't quite latch onto him. It wasn't like a clean Searing Chains and initiation into relocate. He stayed alive for... It wasn't even that he stayed alive, it was that he just didn't get caught at all.
Oh, Swindles caught out bottom. Is he going to make an on-time close call on the TP, but does live to tell the tale.
Really important couple of kills for Alliance. That gets them that jump to the next few items. Bulldog now more or less has his Orchid. He just needs 150 gold, and Alliance can be very happy about that. S4 also about to hit level 11 on Brew.
And remember, Alliance are the ones running the Iron Talon 4-position Darkseer, so EGM is effectively a 4th core for the squad. It's only really Ake playing that hard support role. And now you can see EGM completing the mech. Arcane Boots also up. Big items are coming, but here's the TP. Looks like they want to punish. Ember Spirit off into the trees. They really want S4! Oh, no! S4!
And Chessie went for S4. Like, he could have gone on Witch Doctor, but he's like, this is the bigger kill. I'm going to ignore the Witch Doctor.
That was at the buzzer. At the buzzer, S4 makes it out. He did the math. And the math was very slightly favorable. By just the narrowest of margins, he will survive. Crucial escape there. It's also giving Loda time. In the midst of it all, Loda has quietly become Alliance's most farmed hero. 2-1-4, 97 CS, very impressive given the circumstances, and he's up to 2,500 gold.
Yeah, Loda's played a very polished game. Not getting caught out, just farming wherever there's space to farm. Always getting involved when Alliance have needed it as well. When they fought around the ultimates, he's always been there. Hasn't overextended and has put himself in a great position to still get a Radiance at a very respectable time.
Yeah, and it might turn into a bit of a farm war here with Chessie. He had saved up to 4,200 gold on the Ember Spirit, but he drops all it now and has essentially the completed Battle Fury ready to go. Just needs a little more for the Void Stone.
We'll have to worry about the Bulldog Orchid though, which is online, so...
Do you think he was debating going like a Manta or Linkets first, or...?
Probably some consideration. It's like, we've got damage coming out from OD with the Beastmaster Aura, like, how important is just staying alive versus... But I think he realized this game is going to slow down and they may have to scale well, so the Battle Fury is going to help him farm better. And ultimately, you can still fight around this, you just have to play a lot safer and rely on the Wisp to save you.
That's for a little preemptive there on the clap. They did scout the smoke with their Observer Ward over near the Ancients.
Swindle King.
And you can see Lip trying to break it, but apparently they didn't realize it would come all the way to the bottom lane, so they're going to use the Moonlight Shadow. Look to get Swindled out, it's not happening. And elsewhere, Bulldogs looking for Limp. He almost gets eyes on him, they're going to ping him out. Can they move forward? Haunt's already committed, Prophet TP on cooldown. So they don't get the prized OD, but they will again strike on a core hero, bringing down the Beastmaster Alliance. Showing great poise under pressure. I mean, that start, a lot of teams would have just crumbled.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of look at that like, oh, Complexity cut their losses just to lose one, but realistically, they're not getting anything elsewhere on the map. They're not pushing out or split pushing. They're not finding farm in their own jungle. They're just setting up to defend the tower. So it was a kill for Alliance. They transition into Darkseid, TPing top farming the map. Alliance steadily coming back into this game after a 5k gold deficit. It's almost back to even now. Really strong mid-game play, and this is all before the Radiance. This is Alliance achieving this with a lot of stocked up gold that's not really going to use as far as their fights go. And once that Radiance comes online, it only gets harder for Complexity.
So do you need to have a sense of urgency here if you're Complexity? Is there a certain objective they need to go for soon, or are you okay trading farm? Obviously the deaths are not good, but beyond that.
Not urgency, but you need to have a sense of what Alliance are looking to achieve right now. I think Complexity looked at this game like, okay, they're trying to farm up Radiance on Loader. We can play greedy, we can split push, but Alliance, they're going to farm up that Radiance by getting kills if Complexity give them openings to do so.
Oh, Complexity. They're gonna go for the Roche here. Alliance are so far away. I don't even know if they could stop this if Complexity just went right now.
Yep,
they're just gonna kill off the creeps and go to work.
Call from Swindle.
15 seconds on the haunt. Prophet ults up.
There's no tier 1 towers for EGM to TP to, so he's very far from this, and they're gonna get it.
Oh, Gutsy call under pressure. Complexity with the DD road on Chessie. The OD orb smacking down Roche. We'll grab the Aegis here. They needed that injection.
Yep.
It was feeling like Alliance are on a huge climb back, but now we'll have to see what Complexity looks to do with this Aegis.
And Chessie having an Aegis means he can just play a lot more aggressive in these fights, and while he can die to the Orchid, he'll have that second life, and if they have to commit the Orchid as well as follow-up damage to kill off Chessie, on that second life he's just going to be untouchable and just clean up the fight, so very good position for Complexity to try and fight around this. They're also going to have Mech soon and Handskin, which maybe is an item they want to wait for.
Yeah, at the same moment, EGM is outpacing him dramatically here on the Darks here, as you'd expect. See a dagger onto Swindles, the blink forward from S4, they're going to commit a Primal Split. They really hate this Brewmaster. Swindles shown no love. Will go down again.
Yeah, similar death to last time where, again, Complexity just being a bit too greedy, trying to get so much farm out of the map. It's not the most costly death because Alliance are so far on their side of the map, they can't transition into towers off this, but it's just... It feels a bit unnecessary from Swindles.
Yeah, he had the Hawk up in the tree line, so maybe assumed he'd be able to scout any sort of initiation, but was not the case.
And S4 recognizing that he needs to use the split to cancel the TP. If he doesn't split there, EGM's too far away to get off the vacuum to cancel. And I think that's what Swindles is looking at that situation, like, well, what actually cancels my TP? If you see the Witch Doctor on the map, I don't think he saw the Darkseer, but Darkseer wasn't going to be there. He probably thinks he can just TP away, but Brew commits a Primal Split.
What do you think's coming next here for Alliance? Bulldog, 2,200 gold banked up. EGM just completed the Greaves. Spectre Radiance soon. What's their game plan moving forward?
I'm really curious to see if Bulldog goes for the Aghanim split push build. I feel like he may be... There's a lot of arguments to make going for like a DPS carry type build this game, and even more so because of how much Complexity showed they can deal with split push, and not just last game, but even going back to game 1 on the Lone Druid. It feels like split push, if you look at all the games where teams have had to resort to split push, or that's been their strategy, it's been losing. It's not been a winning strategy, looking at this tournament as a whole, regardless of what teams you look at. So possibly just see him go into like a BKB Maelstrom type build and try and fight head on. I think that may be the way to play this one.
All right, let's see if that is indeed the choice that Bulldog makes. Vlad's coming out now for S4. So may even end up slipping further here in the network chart. Already behind EGM, but he's got his key items and levels to be a huge presence in the upcoming team fights. And, well, it is a Blink Dagger. Still no real tell overall.
Yeah, if you wanted to, I feel like if you want to split push, you maybe go for the Ags. But, again, Blink very good against Relocate. Much like last game, the same kind of reasoning behind this item applies.
Well, and over on the side of Complexity, a big item now for Limp. He's going to grab a BKB, so no longer has to worry about the Radiance, the Dispersion damage, the Prophet Ultimate. I mean, if you look at Alliance, it is the vast majority is magic damage at this stage of the game.
Yeah, even, Spectre Horn Radiance is still, he's not going to be right-clicking all too much, so... It's still going to be a period of time where Loader is not able just to go running into a fight with Horn and expect to be invincible. Necrobook actually can be used to punish him. If you just stick it on him, you burn his mana, and if he kills the melee Necro, he's going to take a huge amount of damage from the last will damage, and something Loader only has 1,300 HP against.
I'm wondering if Complexity look for anything more out of this Aegis. They have been farming, relatively uncontested, but Alliance trading effectively. Haven't forced the objectives.
They've smoked up once more. This is before, Chessie, like you say, has the Aegis, but going for a Manta style now, and this is often the follow-up, when you're against an Orchid. You give a window where they can kill you, but then you go back for the Manta style afterwards.
Still a minute and change here on that Aegis, so unlikely to see the Ember Spirit going down. And in fact, Chessie really pressing the issue against his former teammates. He will get silenced, but he's so far forward. The flank that's coming isn't going to be near him. Instead, they're going to find Z-Freak on the Mirana. Off in the tree line, pops the Moonlight Shadow. Can they run him down? Swindles arrives, also joins the fight. They're going to roar S4, but S4, if he can get off the split, would really turn the tide. No, he's out of mana! The OD deprived him of it, so S4 bottling up frantically in the trees. Still no split. He's finally going to get it off, blinking into the midst of complexity, throwing the Ember Spirit up in the air, still holds the Aegis, but Limp is doing heavy damage. Now the BKB is worn off, maybe not so much. It's up to Chessie to bail out his buddy here. Can he save the day? Limp with the self-astral into the blink, killing off the Pandas, but still the Ember kited, controlled and dealt with. Another chains crashing through. Chessie still taking advantage of the Arcane Rune. He's getting fairly low here. Another slide. They're also damn low. So too is he. He gets down one. Gem hits the deck. S4 wants it and he wants it bad, but Chessie finishes another. 4 down. Remnant forward. Out for blood. S4 frantically retreating just in chains range. I do believe. Oh, he misses it. Oh, it was close. It was almost a team wipe.
5 for 4
with an Aegis, so a 6 for 4.
Kind of a, yeah. Well, no, 4 for 4. Really.
Yeah, it's counting the Aegis.
5 including the Aegis.
4
and
for 4.
The Aegis was about to expire, so you can't even really consider the Ember a kill there. He almost died with the Aegis expiring right before it.
That Arcane Rune. Not often an item you think for Ember, like,
God,
oh, Arcane Rune, that's the best Ember Rune, but that time the extra sleight of fists made all the difference.
Yeah, the extra sleight of fist, searing chains, the cooldowns more than anything was what allowed Chessie just to go ham that fight and almost able to save the OD there. Every Astral he gets off, he pops on himself. If you hover around that, you're taking the 300 damage. Just bought Ember time to keep on cleaning up and...
Well, I guess we have our answer if they're going to use the Aegis. Maybe not the way they were planning to, but
yeah,
it ends up paying off. And good news here for Alliance, though, S4 did recover the gem of EGM and get away. Giving that away to a Beastmaster lineup, absolutely devastating.
Yeah, it really looked like Complexity were going to be able to miraculously turn it around, despite the fight starting off like 1 for 3 against them. And Chessie already completes Manton, has 2.2k gold after that. Suddenly he is just farmed out of his mind.
It feels like he has to overcommit to kill him. How else are you going to bring him down? He can Manta out of the Orchid. They have no Hex. They have no reliable stun.
Speaking of which, Bulldog picks up a Void Stone, so he wants to go straight into a Hex.
I think he has to, honestly.
He's just playing like he is the Ember counter, and he is. He's the only way of dealing with this hero right now. They've got no other insta-stuns apart from Vacuum, I guess, but you don't want to Vacuum just to try and initiate into, like, Vacuum into what? Into a cast?
That's not gonna work. Chessie just toying a bit there, but he takes a bit of a beating from S4.
A big question for Chessie is, like, if he sees the Hex being built, how defensive does he go?
He's using the Moonlight Shadow, he's going deep, but Bulldog blinks into the trees. Is he gonna find him? Now he TP's out.
I'm wondering if Chessie, like, goes Lincolns when he sees the Hex, or if he's like, well, I may get Hex, I'm just going to play safe, and I need damage. Because Lincolns means he's going to really limit his late game damage when he's got 3 defensive-ish items, Link, Manta, as well as Lincolns, but it also means he's almost unkillable.
It's kind of a question about the overall game plan. Do they want to just take it late against the Spectre Prophet?
And we're seeing the same build from Swindles, by the way. Going back to game 1, even though they lost that game, one of the probably best kind of parts of the complexity strategy was this boots to travel onto Hawks, and then you follow that up with a relocate in. You roll one hero, you relocate in, and you just find these easy kills, easy pickoffs.
Well, worth noting for Alliance, they are very light on smokes here. They blew a bunch in a row, currently none available. And the one that they could buy on cooldown for 2 minutes, whereas Complexity, they already have one on their heroes, and they can also purchase one more at the shop. So they have the initiation advantage for now. As Loda is going to get scouted out here, Nature's Prophet TP'ing into the tree line. They're going to back away, but meanwhile bottom lane, EGM. Oh, TP's out. They were trying to go on him here, but couldn't quite finish him off.
And both teams making very similar plays. Alliance like, okay, there's a couple heroes up top, let's try and catch them and punish them. And Complexity's like, oh, they're TPing away, let's try and catch the stragglers and punish them. But very clean Dota from both teams, not giving any openings to one another. And again, we'll see Roshan very fast respawn and very much favoring Complexity. They're the ones with pretty good map control now. The Beastmaster Hawks just controlling the map. There is some good Radiant Observer wards up, and Complexity very likely going to be heading for that Roshan soon.
It feels like that fight could absolutely go either way.
Oh, by the way, I'll do another Arcane Rune.
Oh, Chessie, big jump forward, and it's on to Ake. He's just just eviscerated. They do Brewmaster splitting come in, but the BKB's up on Liv. Can he even kill off Hanskin, who jumps down to the low ground, gets banished to safety by Liv, and the wall deployed by EGM here to try and finish up Swindles, doesn't get off the roar. Liv now, no BKB. He is kind of surrounded here. Loda moving onto him, has the hammer ready. The Ion's gonna go down, drops it, self-banish, will end up surviving for now.
He dodges the clap!
And Chessie gonna make it out. Oh, cores out. Juking Alliance, can they survive longer? The Moonlight Shadow keeping Liv safe, but now banishing again. Will he blink out again? Doesn't get it off, he'll end up dropping. A 2 for 3 there, it appears. But they lost a critical hero in the OD.
Yeah, the Spectre going down, but I think ultimately Alliance happy with that exchange. They gain a decent amount of gold out of that. Huge damage dealt by the Spectre. And one of the interesting stats kind of I saw during the draft is that Complexity are actually 0-4 with the Beastmaster of Swindles. They're yet to get a win with it. It doesn't ever feel like, oh, Beastmaster's been a bad pick for them, but we've seen them struggle to get off roars in a lot of these fights. Another fight where Swindles is kind of the first target. His positioning often with this hero is such that he's getting initiated on rather than being the one initiating these fights. And I've seen so many times in these Beastmaster games where he doesn't get off the roar or he's used it very defensively.
Ready. They want to go bottom. S4 is the target. Ake behind, but he's rather far back. Here comes the relocate. No OD, no problem. S4 no ultimate, and no way in hell he gets out of that one.
Gem as well, actually, too.
Oh, that's big.
Bit of a misplay from S4 getting caught out there on the map, but
yeah, he was way out. I think with the OD dead, was assuming that Complexity would sit back, but not the case.
And it was the Beastmaster just having the boots of travel to be able to get back onto the map incredibly fast.
Well, they can buy another gem in a minute, but the gold impact still significant either way.
Yep. And you've got Beastmaster who can benefit from so much from having a gem.
And what a time for that kill. Now Roshan's up. Complexity, just perfect for them.
Yep. They'll secure Aegis. Probably going to Chessie. OD as well, as Nargins said, but OD is building very defensively, and I feel Chessie being able to play aggressive in these fights, he'll drop his bottle, just goes such a long way. Even with the Mant and the Blink in the last fight, he wants to go aggressive, get in there, and then he takes a lot of damage just from the Spectre, the Haunt, the Radiant, so having 2 lives on this hero is just incredible. A lot like one of his brothers, the Storm Spirit. You come back, you have full HP, full mana, and you can just do so much because all your spells have such low cooldown.
So with fresh Aegis now, Chessie gonna back off to the woods. He's almost got himself the Daedalus, assuming he wants to complete it. At the same time, Loda closing in on a Manta style here, just needs the ultimate orb, so... I mean, basically a full item behind Chessie, but it is a Spectre after all.
I just wonder how much, like, Complexity is very much sticking to the exact same thing with this Beastmaster. We see Beastmaster always alone on the bottom. He's pseudo-split pushing, but he's also looking for pickoffs, knowing that Alliance aren't going to send more than 1 or 2 heroes down bottom unless they're trying to gank him. So he's kind of playing that, like, Space Creator type role, but at some point this becomes predictable.
They have a Hex now on their Nature's Prophet. Fresh pickup, Chessie.
Oh, Bulldog.
Jumping out, and now they've seen the Hex. That's big.
Yeah, they knew. I guess he maybe had on his mind, like, Bulldog's building it. He saw the Voidstone Ultimate Orb and gets away.
Well, it certainly helps to know for sure.
Yep. And Swindle's still fishing around this bottom lane, trying to find pickoffs, trying to do what he can for his team.
Yeah, you can tell Complexity respect this Alliance team fight, though. Even with an Aegis, they don't want to just blindly run at them. They're looking for the clean initiation here. Hawk's giving some forward vision. There's the Daedalus.
Speaking of respect, a lot of respect shown to this Ember. EGM going for a Hex before he even gets a Blink Dagger up. Has an ultimate orb in his hands, but they're really worried about dealing with this Ember.
Oh, Loda's out fairly far here, bottom lane. Swindle's running forward, but they've seen the trail. The dagger, the dagger reveals all.
Dagger. Oh my gosh, what a time for
Oh god.
Dagger.
Whew. You call Swindle a king, some call Loda something greater. But still, Complexity are taking over the jungle here. They are going to be forced back, defending the tier 2, Limp will go. And Alliance will push out the lanes back out. But it seems, at least until the Aegis is down, they're hesitant to make too many bold moves.
Items coming Complexity's way, Shiver's Guard for the OD. Gonna just help deal with some of the physical damage output, the Treants, just give you some more AoE team fight on the side of Complexity. And similarly, Swindles has the money for a Blink Dagger.
Bottom lane. They're trying to catch out Loda. He's a bit away from the herd. Now the relocate coming in. Chessie, chains available, is going to try to catch him, but Loda running back towards the enemy team, tries to turn and fight, blown up with ease, now Limp pumping the BKB, the wall's been dropped, Spectre with the buyback haunt, they've got to get something big out of this haunt turnaround. Brewmaster split, also used, Chessie still in the thick of it all, he's now sprouted up control, they want to ignore the Ember, kill off the backliners, and they are dropping low. Z-Freak with the long range arrow, it's only going to hit the Wind Panda, but now the Brewmaster split ends, and perhaps the turn can begin. They isolate Swindles, going for the TP out, just barely makes it, they have cracked the Aegis, they dagger onto Z-Freak, no, it didn't quite hit him, he's able to force step away, Leap coming soon, he goes for the TP, and Ember Spirit also trying to make it out of there, but Chessie, Hex now, surrounded by Loda, being controlled, silenced and dead, they do get 4, only a Spectre kill.
What
a huge swing of momentum.
Loda, like, it just looks, when he turns and just runs into those heroes, he's effectively suiciding. He realizes, like, I'm dead here. They're going to catch me out. I have no escape, but we can turn this into a great situation. They roared him. They committed so much for that kill, and when he buys back and haunts in, Complexity have completely overextended in a way, and Alliance punished them for their aggression in the bottom lane.
Normally, you don't really think about the Spectre buyback until the late game. Loda isn't all that farmed for this stage. He hasn't completed the Manta style at this point, but it looks like it's finally coming out after that fight. He got quite a bit of gold. He's still an Ultimate Orb shirt. So he still doesn't even have it. You're not really expecting it, but like you said, great game sets, great decision making here. And now they've got a double Hex, so Ember Spirit, his life gets a lot harder, gods.
Yes, tricky times. We'll have to see. Lincoln's a possibility, but you generally, late game, you don't want to have Lincolns with Manta style. It's one or the other typically. And ideally, late game, you want to have another DPS item, be it the Rapier and MKB, sometimes against heroes with evasion like Brewmaster. So I don't even think he can really slot in a Lincoln Sphere if he wants to scale as a late game core. And Brewmaster is such a good pick this game because even heroes like OD, they're not natural MKB buyers. They don't want to pick this up. I don't think you'll ever really see an OD with an MKB. So Alliance will be able to cause a lot of problems to the Complexity side as we go into the late game.
Well, what was once a pretty modest lead here for Complexity is entirely gone now. A very slight gold advantage for Alliance. Experience there as well, but I guess the bigger question is, since the numbers are so close, gods, when you look at the drafts, do you see either team pulling away late game?
It's just so hard to say one draft is just going to beat the other because it doesn't come down to any head-on-head engagements. There's such great maneuverability from Complexity, such great vision from the Beastmaster Hawk. You've got the IO Relocate as far as maneuverability goes. You've got the Ember Spirit who's so incredibly mobile, but Alliance, they've got the carries, they've got the farm, they've got the hexes.
They want the Bulldog, he's got a blink, he's quick on it, but Swindle's blinked forward enough that he still gets off the roar. Arrow's gonna connect, they relocate for good measure. Well, that's some hate.
I mean, Z-Freak just reminding people he's in this game. He's the one who gave Complexity the incredible early game and has been very quiet since, but that's the nature of Mirana as a hero. And that's one of the things where I look at this and I want to say Complexity struggle in the late game. Heroes like, I mean, you've got Mirana as well as Io. These heroes both don't have much farm and both, well, Mirana doesn't scale great. Io can just because of like being able to save people in the late game as well as relocate still being great in the late game, but farm-wise, the supports aren't going to offer much, and Complexity are going to have to rely on their ability just to move around the map, be anywhere quickly, have global presence to match Alliance's global presence, as well as just their incredible team fight with the Spectre, Darkseer, the Brewmaster.
Well, things will settle down for a moment. Roshan, at least a minute and a half away from respawning, potentially a couple more. Chessie still working towards that next big item. We'll see what he wants to go for here, but Complexity have purchased another smoke. Could be a big time to use it, but we saw the power of buyback in the last fight. They know Loda won't have it for 3 minutes here, roughly, but the Nature's Prophet could, and even a Hex could make the difference as well. So they're thinking about it, but they're not hugely confident either.
Both teams slowing things down now. This is where buybacks become oh so important. That's where Alliance are actually not going to be making any aggressive smoke plays or trying to take fights. Like a load of death without buyback is just game over. Well, maybe not game over, but it's pretty catastrophic. Like a very likely a lane of racks, and Complexity's vision is actually looking really good right now with 2 deep wards right outside the Radiant base. One kind of protecting the Roche area as well.
It all goes back to the gem. Alliance at this point could buy a new one, but
yeah, they kind of almost need to because of the Moonlight Shadow. Relying purely on sentries and dust is maybe not the best plan when Witch Doctor is as squishy as he is, and that's the only hero right now with detection.
And to your point about the Mirana being quiet, that is the one thing that Z-Freak has been able to bring, but as we say that, EGM realizes it too, and he'll buy a gem of his own.
I mean, Z-Freak he's the one who's kept the map completely watered, and Swindle's raw top lane, he's found it with the TP onto the Hawk.
S4, he's got a fresh BKB, not gonna be able to use it, he's dead for 70.
That's the play.
Oh, Roshan.
That's the late game play for
not
Complexity.
up for 2, and having seen that BKB, they might suspect he doesn't have buyback.
Jesse pushes out the bottom lane just with one TP slider fist, and then he's instantly back top. He says that's enough to deter Nature's Prophet. Let's see what else we can do.
So the buyback kings here, as Scat points out. They've had some very stressful back and forth games. Chessie gets to work. He looks for the chains. He's gonna blink in.
Oh, he
finds
the buyback too. Whoa!
Oh, what a play by Chessie!
They're already
the
out. Look how far
insta-smoke.
back they are.
Oh my goodness!
This team, like, they weren't even, they're almost like playing into the fact, expected, like that was kind of what we saw in game 1, and that almost cost them, where they didn't go for it when Alliance didn't have buybacks, but it's because they know it's Alliance. They're always expecting them to have buybacks, and that play there was, he has buyback, let's try and bait it. They bait it, no one else even is nearby, and then they're instantly out.
That's the beauty of Dota. It's one of those moments where nobody dies, no towers are killed, no throne is taken, the game's not over, but in its own weird way, it is a massive play for Complexity.
Yep. And
great decision making.
Really opens up the next Roshan as well, because it gets a lot harder to contest. And Alliance have smoked up early, expecting maybe a Roche play. It's not up for another minute, and
it is actually on the earlier end of the potential Roshans.
S4, if he gets Rawed and died, it's catastrophic. He has to make sure he gets off his BKB.
They have an arrow here. S4's the man in front. He's going to start it off on Swindle. We've seen this before, but a BKB, TP. They instead are going to hex Z-Freak, trying to control him. So Limp is left free to do whatever he wants in this fight. He's going to drive EGM back, destroys the darts here, but it's going to cost them Z-Freak's Mirana. So a lot expended here. Can they get the OD, or will he blink out of time? He's pretty quick to do it, but they cyclone him, control him, drop him down with the organ, now the cask, and it just seems Limp has no way out. Surrounded and beaten, he too will fall. And I believe Alliance will manage to recover their gem after all that.
Yeah, nice play from Alliance. They just instantly go in the aggressive.
They've used so much, but Complexity, their turn not to have buybacks. Nothing on the IO, nothing on the Mirana.
Alliance would love this Roshan. It's actually going to respawn while
they'll leave a
Heroes are
Triad
still
in
dead.
there.
Yeah,
They're going to know. But it also means time for Complexity maybe to contest.
The OD has buyback, and you could buyback and then instantly relocate in, so it's a very
they know.
legitimate possibility to contest it.
And Alliance are going for it. There is a buyback on OD, but there
All
is...
gets taken out, but they see this.
That sleight of fist.
They make this buyback OD and relocate in. That's like the kind of call I feel Swindles will make.
He doesn't have his ultimate though, so he's a little bit less effective here. Does have the BKB, and the Orb still pack a punch.
Io's going for the relocate. He's sitting in the fountain. He's precast the spirits. He's going for this.
They're looking for it. The Roche dropping very slowly. Alliance aren't the best at killing off Roche. Now the chain's coming through. The BKB committed from Chessie. Swindle's initiating. He gets up the roars onto Aki. Loda getting hammered down by Limp. He too is buyback. Dead for 100 seconds. Nature's Prophet. Instant buyback as well. But he's going to TP to top. They will not contest this Roche.
Bit of a rush by.
And they get the cheese as well.
Bulldog's thinking, like, if this fight looks okay and Loda doesn't die, his buyback, he can TP in and they win the fight, take Roshan, but what a jump there. What a great call from Complexity. They knew they could relocate the OD in, and that's something Alliance probably think like, oh, OD's dead for a while, even if he buys back, he can't get to Roshan, but Io just respawned and never left the fountain, just waiting for that play to happen, and again, the vision comes into play. Complexity see them go into the Roshan pit with the Hawk. Even when the Hawk dies, Chessie's just sitting here by spamming
going deep. He wants EGM. The arrow comes through. EGM almost runs back into it, saved by the Triad. And now Chessie, ooh, close call. He's going to jump away. He doesn't even have BKB. The Brewmaster split comes out. They're diving onto Lip. The buybacks have been thoroughly committed here. They need to get something big. Alliance, this has to be a successful fight for them. Swindles has a roar soon. He's got a BKB. Lip has his own BKB, stalling and waiting and biding their time. There's the tether, keeping Swindles alive. The roar's up in 3. He's got a BKB. If they can kill off Loda, this could be the end for Alliance. It's a roar into an arrow, but can they finish him? Crashing through with the OD orbs, they will get a kill. It's a dieback for Loda. Chessie surviving and juking away. He's still got a BKB. Complexity, a massive pick there, but it's instantly Bulldog the top. He's ready to go while they're busy trying to chase. He stalls this game out. He won't give up hope yet, but EGM doesn't have that level of mobility. They've lost Dooney too. Complexity so close, and moving in. Although Bulldog wants to split push, it's going to be slow going for him. The buyback status is very grim for Alliance. 3 up for Complexity, 0 for the Alliance, and instantly they start to take out the melee racks faster and faster, hammering away. The inner beast helping, every little bit counts. Complexity coming into this tournament. Swindle said that North America and Southeast Asia would surprise, and so far we are seeing it. This band of Swedes and Americans doing work against Alliance, bringing down the melee bottom, working on top. They want the world. They're close. Alliance are on their last leg, still waiting 30. Spectre no buyback. He's not even trying. He's desperate. They're gonna pop dust. Jesse just walks in. BKB connects on 2. Roars there as well. S4 is about to fall. Down goes the brew. Ake almost finished off. Jesse, no mercy, savaging his former teammates. And with that, Complexity has done the unthinkable. They are officially the dark horse story here of the Shanghai Major, marching towards the fountain, working on the throne. It's all coming down to a massive hold from Alliance, but with Jesse in front, it's going to be tough, and they won't even try. They call the GG. Complexity has done it. They survive, and it will be a showdown with EG that awaits them tomorrow.
Well, there's the time for some vengeance for Complexity, but right now, these guys are ecstatic, jumping up in that booth. They've done the unthinkable, taking the road through the lower bracket, taking out your TI3 champions. They've won over this crowd, LD.
Yeah, the crowd loves a great underdog story. They love this Complexity team, and with the way they played against Alliance, you just have to take their